This is K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in approximately 5 minutes.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through 2 meters, not a signal was keying up any repeaters. The antennas reached up from the tower quite high to catch the weak signals that bounced from the sky. The children, technicians, took their HTs to bed and dreamed of the day they'd be extras instead. Mom put on her headphones, I plugged in the key, and we tuned 40 meters for that rare ZK3. When the meter was pegged by a signal with power, it smoked a small diode and I swear shook the tower. Mom yanked off her phones and with all she could muster logged a spot of that signal on the DX packet cluster, while I ran to the window and peered up at the sky to see what could generate RF that high. It was way in the distance, but the moon made it gleam. A flying sleigh with an 8-element beam. And a little old driver. It was too far to tell, but he might have been sent by the ARRL. Then I saw it was Santa, the Santa of hams, on a mission this Christmas to clean up the bands. He circled the tower, then stopped in his track, and he slid down the coax right into the shack. While Mom and I hid behind stacks of CQ, this Santa of hamming knew just what to do. He cleared off the shack desk of paper and parts and filled out all my late QSLs for a start. He ran copper braid, took a steel rod, and pounded it into the earth till the station was grounded. He tightened loose fittings, resoldered connections, cranked down modulation, installed lightning protection. He neutralized tubes in my linear amp. Never worked right before, now it works like a champ. A new low-pass filter cleaned up the TV. He corrected the settings in my TNC. He repaired the computer that wouldn't compute, and he backed up the hard drive and got it to boot. Then he reached really deep in the bag that he brought, and he pulled out a big box. A new rig, I thought, a new Kenwood, an ICOM, a Yaesu, for me? An Elecraft, Tentec, or Flex, could it be? If he thought I'd been bad, it might be QRP. Yes, the ultimate station. How could I deserve this? Could be all those weekends I worked public service. He hooked it all up, and in record time, quickly worked 100 countries, all down on 160. I should have been happy. It was my call, he said, but the cards and the postage will cost a month's rent. He made final adjustments and left a card by the key to Gary from Santa Claus, 73. Then he grabbed his HT, looked me straight in the eye, punched a code on the pad, and was gone. No goodbye. I ran back to the station, and the pileup was big, but a card from St. Nick would be worth my new rig. Oh, too late, for his final came over the air. It was copied all over. It was heard everywhere. The ham Santa exclaimed what an old ham expects. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, good DX.
Hello and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club LearningNet for December 24th, 2025. Good evening. Welcome back. It's a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. And thankfully, we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Daron. I'll be this evening's net control. Obviously, this is a holiday, so might be a little bit quiet this evening, but that is all right. Tonight, we'll be taking your check-ins, comments, questions, updates, and more. Most months, we meet every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset.
0TX repeater.
You can contact us via Elmer at w0tx.org and net at w0tx.org. Also on most social media at Denver Radio Club. We also stream and archive some of our nets on youtube.com/Denver Radio Club. So if you'd like to see behind the scenes of the net or visual context, that is an additional way to view the net. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. The suffix is the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use IT phonetics for your call sign and indicate if you have any traffic questions as you check in. If you'd like to follow along with the check-in process, you can go to w0tx.org/check-in. With that, if your suffix begins with letters A through M, alpha through Mike, please check in now. Okay, we'll go ahead and open up the whole alphabet. We're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. If you'd like to check in just for the count or if you have any traffic questions, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes, A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Sierra Uniform Mike, Jonathan Lakewood.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. That time we had Jonathan K0 SUM. Thank you so much for checking in. We also had online Dustin K0BF checking in. Really do appreciate that, and I think someone else there as well. So good evening to everyone in the chat there. If you'd like to check in, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now. All right, certainly not a surprise considering it's Christmas Eve. And next Wednesday will be New Year's Eve Wednesday, so it might have similar turnout. I'll throw it out to the group, A through Z, Alpha through Zulu, if you'd like to check in just for the count, or if you have any traffic questions, A through Z, please call now.
Well, I have a comment drone, SUM.
All right, sounds good there. We had Jonathan with a comment, and then we had a couple check-ins online, KD0CGF and KB2UEW. Thank you so much for checking in, and we'll get back to you here in just a second then, Jonathan. Yeah, if you'd like to check in, we're taking all call signs, all call suffixes. It's nice to have a little bit of break. So, again, Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy Holidays. A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. If you'd like to check in, please call now. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. We also had another check-in online. Paul, KF0NPS. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here. And Alvaro, appreciate that as well. I guess we'll just throw it over to Jonathan. It might be a quiet evening. Might be a short nap, but SUM, the net's yours. Go ahead.
Well, Jerome, for the last month or so, I've been studying Meshtastic. It's like really interesting, very inexpensive to get into. Still not clear on how hard it is to program. Excuse me. But I haven't decided whether I want to jump on board with owning a Meshtastic radio. And I think you can get them as cheap as like $30, which is kind of fun, but is that something anyone else would use on a regular basis?
Great question there. Yeah, it's still having, I think, a chicken and egg problem. I think Meshtastic. I think there's not enough uptick, unfortunately. There are some nodes around here, but it's mostly just basic messaging, and I don't think a lot of people have, even at the low cost, have found the time or need or want, I guess, to get more into Meshtastic, even myself included. So. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if you go to meshmap.net, you can see some of the nodes that are out here. Yeah, I'll throw it back out to you, Jonathan. Though, anything else? Go right ahead.
Well, yeah, I think of all the things I can do with ham radio, and Meshtastic is definitely something you could do, but since it's only text, I don't know how often I'd use that. Who do you text? And yes, you could get two and do that, but in most cases up and down the Front Range, you're going to have cell service or ham service. So I still haven't decided whether this is a product that's really going to work or not. I mean, I'm tempted to play with it, but I'm not sure I want to. I'm not sure I need another small electronic gadget in my collection.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. If you're not going to use it and it's just going to sit on your sit on a shelf, I guess that's an answer enough in and of itself, whether the purchase is justified or not. But yep, as you mentioned, we have great cell phone service, and it's what need really would Meshtastic put into place? Is it solving a question that's not there? I'm not too sure though. But maybe just for the fun of it, picking these up. Might be fun just to play around with. But yeah, let's see some comments in here. Someone's mentioning they can hit repeaters in Cheyenne from here in Stoneham on mesh repeaters. Someone else mentions they have Meshtastic radio. I'm trying to find out if you need two to talk to each other. And cheap enough not to try it is another comment. Question there was if you need two. Certainly if you want to test with yourself, potentially so, but I think that there's other ways to do so as well.
Well, it's good to know their range, but Cheyenne, let's see, 145 won't go quite all there, but then you switch over to like the 449 500, and I think that goes all the way up to Cheyenne. That may switch to digital, but I'm not sure. So we've already got that covered.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, we have amazing repeater coverage and radio coverage in the state as well. So, yeah, maybe it's not necessarily something we absolutely do need. But yeah, it might just be fun to play around with, maybe a soldering project or just to play around with programming and getting into those the ISM 915 megahertz band. Just might be something different to try. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great question. I appreciate you keep bringing that back up here. And so yeah, if you ever get into it, let us know. But if you have any further comments or questions or anyone else on that, go right ahead.
0TX repeater.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Let me another good comment in here was seeing people on airplanes flying over and being able to access their repeater nodes or vice versa. So that's pretty interesting as well. I was also trying to bring up a YouTuber, Save It for Parts. He made one and put it out in Alaska, so when cruise ships are going by, they would see it as well. So yeah, I am not too sure though, but yeah, anyone else? Oh, go right ahead, please. All right, great question there. Yeah, appreciate that. So yeah, I might have to just buy one myself and just test it out and see if it's worth playing around with. Because yeah, it's as mentioned, it's cheap enough not to try to get into it, considering some of the expense of some of the other equipment that we may purchase or have on our shelves. So yeah, Meshtastic, really cool stuff there. So yeah, it's 7:41 Christmas Eve, so it's going to be probably a little bit of a quiet evening here. Had a few check-ins here so far. If anybody else wants to check in or has any other further comments, questions, check-ins, anything else, please call now.
Comment, SUM.
Yeah, go right ahead, Jonathan. SUM.
Yeah, Drone. The other thing I see is you just showed a map of Meshtastic nodes, I guess, up and down the front range. But your problem is the network's not fully developed yet. So you're not going to talk. They claim, oh, you'll be able to talk coast to coast with this, but I don't believe that's true because the network's not fully developed.
Fair enough point as well. Yeah, it's only as good as, I guess, the repeaters or the nodes that are around that can repeat all the messaging. Yeah, if there aren't enough around, yeah, you're really only limited to what's around you. So that's a fair enough point as well.
I wonder if anybody knows how well they would work in, like, the Midwest. I'm originally from Iowa, or I think Nebraska, where it's like, really, I'm not sure that's going to work. I don't know. I guess time will tell.
Very good, very good. And yeah, Meshtastic, based on LoRa, I'm looking at the longest simplex record right now is 200 miles apparently using Meshtastic. I'll have to see sources on that, but yeah, depending on your ranges or. Yeah, they have a range test on meshtastic.org as well. So they have 331 kilometers. Pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah, you just had a comment up from K0BF. Oh, yeah, K0BF 970. But yeah, I thought he made a great point because he's in Omaha and they've got repeaters in Ogallala and North Platte. So yeah, that's interesting. 8 jumps. Thanks for the information.
Yeah, very cool stuff there. K0BF put some comments in the chat here. Looks like a hop to Omaha one night, as you mentioned, 8 hops. He's from he in Colorado, and a bunch of repeaters in Ogallala and North Platte. Mesh is getting huge here locally in western Pennsylvania as well. So another great comment. So very cool. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Really do appreciate that. I think we also had a check-in here, KC1 YFS, I believe that was, mentioning Western Pennsylvania. Really cool stuff there. Anyone else, though? Comments, questions, check-ins? We still have plenty of time. Again, it might be a quiet evening, though, due to being Christmas Eve, though. Anyone else, though? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Go right ahead. All right, this is K1 DPC Net Control. I really don't have a whole lot for this evening. During the holidays, there is Santa nets on different frequencies, different nets to encourage youth to check in and keep the belief of old Whitebeard himself. So if anybody has any interest, I think there might still be some opportunities to act as Santa potentially. So there's cqsanta.com as well as tailgatorsnet.com on their Santa net as well. So if anybody's interested on that and has the radio equipment to do so, that might be a fun opportunity. Anyone else, though? Comments, questions, check-ins? Please call now. This is K1 DBC Net Control. Anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else so far for this evening's Learning Net? Let me see. Let's see. Santa Tracker from NORAD. We'll see. I can bring that up here. And K0BF also mentioned you can hop on someone else's node as well, like someone in an airplane, and really see things jump around, kind of like satellite work. It's good for about 60 seconds or so. So, yeah, really cool stuff there. So let me see if I can bring up local here, NORAD, Colorado Springs, Santa Tracker. NORADSanta.org, it looks like, official NORAD Santa Tracker. Let's see where they're reporting. I've never actually looked in to see what the behind the scenes of this, but it's saying it's Santa's headed to Bogota, Colombia in 30 seconds. Last was in Ecuador. So really cool stuff there. And let me see if I can bring up anything else on that, though. All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Someone was mentioning if you bring up Ham Clock, it potentially there is some Santa tracking in there. I'll have to see if that's coming up on mine. Oh yeah, I do see the little Santa icon there traveling around there as well. That's pretty cool as well.
0TX repeater.
All right, and just a bit of a background and history on Santa tracking. December 24th, 1948, the U.S. Air Force issued a communique claiming that an early warning radar net to the north had detected one unidentified sleigh powered by 8 reindeer at 14,000 feet heading 180 degrees. The Associated Press passed this report along to the general public. It was the first time the United States Armed Forces issued a statement about tracking Santa Claus's sleigh on Christmas Eve, though it was a one-time event, not repeated over the next several years. Pretty interesting story, though. In 1955, a Sears department store placed an advertisement in Colorado Springs newspaper, the Gazette, which told children they could place a call to Santa Claus and included the number ME2-6681. One digit was misprinted. This number was actually a number for the Colorado Springs Continental Air Defense Command, CONAD Center. According to interviews, December 1955, a call allegedly came through to CONAD Colonel Harry Shoup answered the call. Caller, a little girl, asked if he was Santa Claus. A serious man initially thought the call was to be a practical joke and responded gruffly. Upon realizing the child was serious, he softened his tone and asked to speak to the child's mother. It was then that he learned of the advertisement. Some sources assert that he received numerous similar calls that night, in response to which he had given operators give children the current location for Santa Claus. Let's see, on Christmas Eve, when a member of Shoup's staff placed a picture of Santa on a board used to track unidentified aircraft that December, Shoup saw a public relations opportunity for Conad. He asked Conad's public affairs officer, Colonel Barry Oldfield, to inform the press that Conad was tracking Santa's sleigh. In his press release, he added, Conad, Army, Navy, and Marine Air Forces will continue to track and guard Santa on his sleigh on his trip and from the United States against possible attacks from those who do not believe in Christmas. So a little bit more there on Wikipedia, but interesting story nonetheless. All right, comments, questions, check-ins. We start to wrap that up here in just a little bit, but anyone else, please call there. All right. Comments, questions, check-ins. I certainly don't have a whole lot this evening. It is just certainly a quiet time of the year. Not a whole lot to report. ARL closed for a Christmas holiday. That was kind of the most recent news article from them. Wednesday, December 24th will be closed all day Thursday and Friday for the Christmas holiday. They'll be also closed on Thursday, the 1st of January for New Year's. There will be no W181 transmissions during the holiday closure. ARL letter and audio news will also be on hiatus with special editions on New Year's Eve. ARL also reminds radio amateurs that many federal employees have been excused for duty for the holiday. FCC staff will be unavailable to support amateur radio licensing inquiries from the 24th through the 26th. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Just before the net, I was playing, let me see here. A Ham's Night Before Christmas. You can view this video, about 3.5 minutes, over on ARL HQ. This was an amateur radio Christmas video by Gary Pierce, KN4AQ, with guitar medley by Don Merckx, WA3AYR, posted with permission from Gary. So yeah, just a Ham's Nightmare before Night Before Christmas. So I'd suggest just go and check that out. It's just a nice little tune. This is K1 at DBC Net Control. I'll see if I have much more. I don't have a whole lot at the moment, though. Again, it's pretty quiet, even for our club. Right now, it's pretty quiet. Again, w0tx.org if you'd like some more information. Our new roundtable for January will come out around the 1st. So please feel free to check that out. But if anybody has comments, questions, check-ins from the for us or anything else, please call now. Hey, you take care, Dustin. Have a good one. All right, anyone else? Comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's Learning Net? Please call in. Okay, I will take that as a sign that we could probably start to wrap things up. Certainly don't expect too much during the holiday time, so appreciate everyone who did check in, and appreciate that. And we'll be back next week on the 1st. It'll probably be a similar kind of turnout, but that'll be all right. Probably won't be a whole lot, but with that, last-minute check-ins, comments, questions, anything else? Well, otherwise, we'll probably start to wrap the net up. Please call in. Sorry, what was your call sign once more? All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. There was one person checking in online. I will get you in the log. It may not look like it, but I will get you in there. Do appreciate that. Anyone else, though? Last minute comments, questions, check-ins, anything else? Go right ahead. Okay, with that, we'll close the net up then. We had a total of 7 check-ins. Do appreciate everyone who checked in. Appreciate the club for allowing us to use their repeaters. Again, join us next Wednesday, the 31st, for our next Learning Net. Other months, all other months of the year, every Wednesday, we have Learning Net every Wednesday except the third Wednesday of the month. At 6 p.m. on the third Wednesday of the month, an Elmers session takes place. And then our meeting is at 7 p.m. w0tx.org for more information on our club. With that, this is K1 DBC 7-3. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and everyone take care, and we'll talk next week. Have a good one.
W0TX repeater.